Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session with the arraignment docket set on today's date of October 18th of 2022. Angelique Coleman, please come forward. Ms. Coleman, would you please stand on the X? Ms. Coleman, is your full name Angelique Sade Coleman? Ms. Coleman, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Coleman, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? You may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Coleman? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Coleman, I have before me 2 documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights of Defendants Without Attorney. Ms. Coleman, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? And did you place your initials AC on the line that states that you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney? Ms. Coleman, I also have another document here. This document is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, Ms. Coleman, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is that your signature? Ms. Coleman, before you signed and initialed these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Coleman, I read your answers in these documents. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Nathan Reynolds. Our court coordinator will give you information on how to contact Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds will also be given information on how to contact you. You're going to stand on the X in front of our court coordinator. Once you get that information from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go on your blessed day. Please stand on the 4X. Kiara Guidry. Ms. Guidry, is your full name Kiara Justina Guidry?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Guidry, how are you doing?
Fine.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Guidry, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Guidry, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Guidry, you may put your hand down. Ms. Guidry, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on the line stating that you would like to apply for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document that's titled Affidavit of Indigence. And Ms. Guidry, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Ms. Guidry, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is it your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Guidry, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Guidry, I read your answers in these documents. Based on the answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. Ms. Guidry, our court coordinator is going to give you information on how to contact your attorney, and the attorney that's been appointed to represent you. In this case, is Attorney Charles Rojas. Our court coordinator is going to give you information on how to contact Mr. Rojas. Mr. Rojas will be given information on how to contact you. And once you get that information from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Would you please stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator? Ebony Oakland. Good morning, Ms. Oakland. Is your full name Ebony Oakland? Okay, how you doing, Ms. Ogwen?
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Ogwen, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Ogwen, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may put your hand down. Ms. Ogwen, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
And are these your initials on the line stating you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
And I have another document here, Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And on page 2 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes.
Ms. Oakland, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. I read your answers, and based on your answers in these documents, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Jill L. Vasquez. Attorney Vasquez will be given information on how to contact you, and you will be given information on how to contact him. Our court coordinator will give you that information. Once you get the information from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Please have a seated a chair at the table. And when our court coordinator, yeah, right there. And when our court coordinator call your name, you can go to the window. Tyree Frazier. Is your full name? Let's see, it's Tyree Michael Frazier. Mr. Frazier, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Frazier, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Frazier, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Frazier? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Frazier. I have two documents before me. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant? Are these your initials on the line stating you'd like to apply for a court-appointed attorney? I also have another document here. This document is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Mr. Frazier, do you recognize this document? And on page 2 of the same document, Mr. Frazier, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature? Mr. Frazier, before you signed and initialed these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, Mr. Frazier, I read your answers in these documents. Based on your answers, you met the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. Our court coordinator will give you information on how to contact your attorney, and you'll be given information. Well, he'll also be given information on how to contact you. And once you get that information from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Frazier, would you please have a seat in that chair right there at the table? Michael Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins, is your full name Michael A. Hawkins or Michael Andre Hawkins?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hawkins, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Hawkins, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Hawkins, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Hawkins? Oh, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Hawkins. I have before me two documents. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials on the line stating you'd like to apply for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document that's titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of the same document, Mr. Hawkins, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant's Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Hawkins, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. Mr. Hawkins, I read your answers in these documents. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case, Mr. Hawkins, is Attorney William Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson will be given information on how to contact you, and you will also be given information on how to contact him. Once you get that information from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Hawkins, just have a seat in that chair, that big chair right there on the other side of the table. Chastity Broussard. Pronounce your middle name? Shanae? Okay. Your full name is Chastity Shanae Broussard? How you doing, Ms. Broussard? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Broussard, I have two documents before me. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Defendants, Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials online stating you'd like to apply for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir, but at this time, I would just like to proceed.
Are you saying without an attorney? That's, well, you say you'd like to proceed. What do you mean by that?
I want to get it over with today.
Okay, so you want to represent yourself?
Right.
Okay, so you're gonna have to make it, dispose, you hand this document back to her. You'd have to, sign on the fifth line, where you signed on the third line, your initials. And we have to give you a waiver. We have to give you a waiver of counsel as well.
Is that down, is that over here?
It should be. If not, I could give you one right here. She can have a, there you go.
Oh, it is in my face. Okay.
Okay,
You going?
do you have a clipboard? Just let her take a seat, and put that on the clipboard. Yeah, and you just have a seat, and we'll call you back up. For to be in recess.